It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Chase Law.
Jello, everybody.
Yes, it's the Gray Family series starring Chase Law with Johnny Hohenstein. Transcribed and brought to you by the Jello family of desserts. And now, Chase Law with Johnny Hohenstein as Liz and George Cooper, two people who live together and like it. As we look in on the Coopers, it's a beautiful spring day, and Liz is just going into the kitchen to talk to Katy, the maid.
Oh, Katy.
Yes, Mrs. Cooper.
Katy, I've been talking to Mr. Cooper about a raise for you.
Uh-oh.
What kind of an uh-oh is that?
Oh, whenever you want me to do something I won't like, you dangle a raise in front of me.
Oh, I was hoping you'd forget. You've got a memory like an elephant.
Well, I guess it comes from working for peanuts. Oh, pardon me, Mrs. Cooper. I didn't mean it.
That's okay, Katy. But I'm serious about the raise. Now, you deserve it, and I don't want to hear anything from you.
You don't want anything.
Well, hardly anything.
Well, let's have it.
Well, this is the day we decided to do spring cleaning, remember?
Oh, that's funny. I'd forgotten all about it.
Oh, come now, Jumbo.
Hey, I'll make a deal with you. You forget about spring house cleaning, and I'll forget about the raise.
Oh, I can't, Katy. But don't worry. It isn't going to be half as hard as this year.
Why not?
I know where I can get you an extra pair of strong arms.
Won't it make my shoulders too crowded?
No, Katy, I mean, George is going to help us.
He is? When did he say that?
As soon as I tell him about it.
I thought so.
Well, this year, I'm going to put my foot down and George is going to help. Last year, who did all the heavy work?
I did.
Who waxed all the floors and washed all the windows?
I did.
Who carried the trunks up to the attic and repainted the lawn furniture?
I did. I did everything.
Darn right, and I'm getting sick and tired of it.
Well, an old elephant thanks you.
That's all right. When you die, just leave me your tusks.
Mrs. Cooper, I've been married 5 times, and I know there's only one good way to get a man to help with the spring cleaning. Shame him into it.
Shame him into it?
Yes. If he comes home and sees you carrying things that are too heavy for you, and just working like a horse, he'll offer to help.
Oh, Katy, that's a wonderful idea. George will be home any minute. Help me get this piano on my back.
Come in.
Oh, pardon me, sir, but...
Oh, Georgie boy, glad you came in. I wanted to tell you I won't be able to make our golf date this afternoon. Business.
Well, I'll find something to do.
Yes. Why don't you just stay here and dictate to your new secretary, Gladys?
That's what I came here to see you about, sir. I'll have to do something about her.
Sounds like you already have. From what I hear, Gladys is sweet on you.
Well, she certainly has no reason to be.
Oh, and you don't know what she calls you in front of the other girls?
No, and I'm not interested.
Yeah, well, okay, boy. I won't force it on you.
What's she call me?
She calls you Cuddles Cooper.
Oh, no.
Oh, you sly devil, you.
Oh, God.
All right.
All right, that's funny. But I'm not getting my work done. Can't you transfer Gladys and get me someone else?
Oh, now give her a chance, George. She's young. Why don't you have a talk with her?
Well, how can I? She comes into the office and sits there looking at me like a cocker spaniel. What can I say to her?
Have you tried? Here, Gladys. Here, Gladys.
Look at this note she left on my desk.
Oh, let's see. Oh, what a lucky girl am I. Who wouldn't like to be like me? Who wouldn't like to have a boss so handsome, blonde, and dreamy?
There, see what I mean?
Now that I look at you, George, you are sort of dreamy.
Oh, Mr. Atterbury. Are you going to give me another secretary or not?
Well, I tell you what, George, think it over. And if you still feel this way Monday, I'll find someone in the office who will trade secretaries with you. Maybe Joe Ridgely.
Oh, that'll be fine.
Yes, I'm sorry about the golf game this afternoon.
No, that's all right. I'm sort of tired anyway. It'd be nice to loll around the house and all afternoon doing nothing.
Wish I could. Well, so long, Cuddles.
Mrs. Cooper, Mr. Cooper's coming up the walk.
Okay, I just have to pick up this bucket here by the door.
Oh, here, let me help you. You can't carry that big bucket of ashes by yourself.
Oh, yes, I can. It's not heavy. See?
Well, I don't understand.
Look, just because I want George to think it's heavy doesn't mean it has to be heavy. I filled it up with paper and just sprinkled an inch of ashes on the top.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Oh, you'd be surprised how heavy it's going to be when George gets here.
Hey, honey, I'm home.
Okay, now it gets heavy. I'm in here, George.
Oh, hi, Liz.
Hello, George. How are you?
Fine, dear. What's new?
Not much. What's new with you?
You, feel all right, Liz? Your voice sounds funny.
Oh, I'm all right. I just carrying these ashes outside.
Oh, honey, you shouldn't be doing that.
I shouldn't?
No, you're liable to spill ashes all over the rug.
Well, I should have known.
Should have known what?
Should have known better than to be subtle. I thought if you saw me struggling with this heavy bucket of ashes, you'd leap up and help me.
Well,
Other men help their wives with the heavy work, and there's no reason why you shouldn't help with the spring house cleaning.
well, I guess it wouldn't hurt me to do a little work.
That's right. Make excuses.
Look, Liz, I said I'd be glad to help.
The one time a year when I ask you to do something around the house and you did?
Sure. Here, I'll take my coat off and tackle that ashes right now.
Oh, all right. Oh, no, George, I'll carry this.
No, nonsense. It's much too heavy for you. You can hardly lift it.
But I'd rather. I just.
Out of the way. I'll show you how a man lifts heavy things like this. 1, 2, 3. What happened? Who hit me? Where'd that can go?
Oh, my, George, you're strong.
Yeah.
You tossed it clear across the room. Get up off the floor.
What a dirty trick. Filling the ash can with paper. Well, if you're going to play that way, you can do your own housework.
Hello, Mr. Cooper.
Hello.
Well, what's wrong with him?
Oh, my trick backfired. We just lost 2 strong arms.
Oh, well, I've been cleaning out Mr. Cooper's den, and I don't know what to do with this box.
What's in it?
Oh, some old letters. They look like love letters to Mr. Cooper.
Oh, well, ask him what he wants to do. Love letters to Mr. Cooper?
I think so. It's a woman's handwriting in purple ink. Well, I'll ask him what he wants to do.
Just a second, Katy. I'll take care of those.
Here, you're not going to read them, are you?
Of course not. Whatever gave you that idea?
I don't know. Something about the way you picked that one up and opened the flap.
Well, you're right. It's addressed to George, and I'm not going to read it.
Good for you.
Here, you read it to me.
What?
Then, if George asks me if I read it, I can say no with a clear conscience. Go ahead, Katy. Let's just see what George's correspondent sounded like in his dear old bachelor days.
Well... Dear Koopy Whoopy,
Oh,
although we have just met, I feel I have known you always.
now there's an original thought.
Now, no matter where I go, I see your face before me. That's why I'm throwing myself at your feet.
His face isn't that bad.
Oh, then it finishes up with a poem. If you want me to holler whoopee, then say you'll be my Koopy Poopy.
Signed, Droopy.
No, it's signed anxious.
Well, there's a masterpiece of understatement. Are there any more from her, Katy?
Oh, yes, there's a whole pile of them, but this was the best one of the bunch.
Why, Katy. Let me see the rest.
Okay, it's this pile marked GC from EE.
Uh-oh.
No, EE.
Never mind, Katy. I just remembered who wrote those letters.
Who?
Shake hands with EE, formerly Anxious.
You wrote them.
That's right. Boy, I really must have been anxious. I sent it special delivery.
Well, I'll deliver it to the attic.
Wait a minute, Katy. I know how we can get George into good humor again.
Okay, how?
If I didn't remember that letter, George won't either. I'm going to seal it up and tell him it was just delivered. I'll pretend to be real jealous and think it's from another woman.
You're playing with fire, Mrs. Cooper.
Oh, don't be silly. He'll get a big kick out of it. It'd be different if there was a slightest possibility of another woman, but not with George. Why, he's just good old George.
He's a man, isn't he?
Oh, Katy, you just stick around. This is going to be fun.
Here he comes now, Mrs. Cooper.
Okay. George? George!
Yes?
This letter on the table, it just came.
Mail on a Saturday afternoon?
Yes, it's for you. It came special delivery. Why don't you open it and see who it's from?
All right. Dear Koopy... Who? Oh, no.
Who's it from, George?
The gas company.
Oh, how come the gas company sent you a special delivery? You got bigger burners?
I forgot to pay the bill.
Oh, and they wrote to you in purple ink. George, are you and the gas company going steady?
Look, let's just forget about it, Liz. It's just a bill. I'll take care of it.
George, I'll bet that letter's from a girl.
I told you it isn't. Now leave me alone.
Well, you don't have to get huffy about it. For your information, that letter is... It's from me!
Oh, now don't cry, Mrs. Cooper.
Oh, Katy, there's woman in George's life. You should have seen the guilty look on his face.
But you wanted him to think it was from someone else.
Sure, I wanted him to think it was from someone else, but he thinks it's from someone else.
Well, no doubt Springhouse Queen is sweeping the country right now, and every woman's as busy as a beaver. So here's a swell time-saving tip. Delectable desserts made quick as a wink with Jell-O tapioca puddings. Sure, there's nothing to it, cause Jell-O tapioca pudding's already prepared. All you do is add milk, and they take about 5 minutes to cook in an ordinary saucepan. Nothing to go wrong. Here's a springtime charmer made with rich, distinctive Jell-O tapioca pudding. You just prepare it as directed, then top each serving with pistachio cream. Foamy whipped cream flavored with almond extract, tinted a gay green, and sprinkled with pistachio nuts. You'll find this delicious new dessert featured in McCall's magazine for May. And you'll find that all 3 Jell-O tapioca puddings are a miracle of goodness, a marvel of speed. Jell-O chocolate, vanilla, and orange coconut tapioca. They'll show you why more women buy Jell-O puddings than any other prepared puddings in the world. That name, Jell-O, is a registered trademark of General Foods. And now, back to Lucille Ball and Chase Law in My Favorite Husband. As we return to the Coopers, Liz is burning up about the supposed other woman in George's life. She gave George an old love letter she wrote, and he mistakenly thought it was from his new secretary, who has a silly crush on him. Well, right now, George has shut himself in the den to use the phone.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Atterbury. This is George Cooper.
Ah, yes, Cuddles.
I'm not Cuddles. I'm Koopy Whoopy now.
Well, what can Uncle Rudolph do for you now?
Uncle Budolf can look for a new vice president if he doesn't get me a new secretary. Gladys just sent me a mushy letter, special delivery.
Did she use bank stamps?
How should I know? The point is I'm not liable to get in trouble unless I get a new secretary. I don't want to go through the whole mess of trying to explain to Liz that this is just all an innocent prank. She's suspicious already.
Ooh, Katy, I'd give my eye teeth to know who he's talking to on the phone in there. Do you suppose it's her?
Her who?
You know, her who? Her! Why did he close the door?
There's always the keyhole.
Oh, Katy, do you think I'd stoop to listening at the keyhole?
Yes.
You're right. But the darn key's in it, so you can't hear a thing. I can't just open the door and listen. That would be eavesdropping. We have to have a reason. Come on, give me a reason.
It's pretty hot in there. Do you think he needs air?
No, it's got to be better than that. I know. Of course. The dog's in there and one's out. Quiet now. Here, boy. Here, boy.
Mrs. Cooper,
What?
I just thought of something.
What?
You don't have a dog.
Oh, that's right. Well, I already have the door open. No use closing it now, is there?
Frankly, Mr. Atterbury, the situation is getting out of hand.
He's telling Mr. Atterbury all about it.
You see, I'm pretty sure Liz already suspects something is going on, so there's just one thing to do. I'm gonna get rid of her.
He's going to get rid of me.
Oh, no.
I'd like to make it as painless as possible. First thing Monday morning, I'll ask her to leave.
Well, at least there won't be any bloodshed.
Well, I'll tell her you arranged for the transfer, I guess.
Transfer? What does he expect me to do? Go to Reno on a streetcar?
That's right. Joe Ridgely can have her, and I'll take his.
He's going to trade me in on a later model.
Well, there must be some explanation.
All right, Mr. Atterbury, I'll call Gladys right now and tell her I'm going to make the change.
Gladys? Oh.
Yes, just kidding. I have her number upstairs in my wallet. Yeah, well, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Oh, get out of the way, Katy. Here he comes. Get out of the way.
I can't. My apron's caught on the doorknob. Oh.
Here, take what's left of it and start dusting. I'll be reading a book.
No.
Hi, George. I didn't know you were in there.
You didn't? Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just reading a book.
Oh, to improve your vocabulary?
Yes. Yeah, and improving my vocabulary.
Well, you certainly picked the right book for it.
Yes, this man writes well. You ought to read this book sometime. It's called The Dictionary.
Oh, Webster is one of my favorite writers.
Oh, well, you see, I haven't been...
Yes, well, tell me later. There's something important I have to take care of right now. I need to go. Bye-bye.
Come on, Katy. He'll be back when he gets that phone number.
Come on, where?
We're going to hide in the den and listen while George talks to that Gladys.
We're gonna hide?
Yes. You're going to be my witness.
Witness for what?
I don't know, but it's always a good idea. Come on. Now, we'll hide in the... Oh, gee. There isn't any place.
Well, I hear him coming.
Quick, into the closet.
No.
Yes. Oh, gee, it's dark in here. Are you comfortable, Katy?
Well, as comfortable as anyone can be who's straddling a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, dear. Can you hold out for a minute?
Oh, it's all right, Mrs. Cooper. I used to have a boyfriend who owned a motorcycle, and you should have seen.
Gee, I wish he'd hurry up. It's so dusty in here. Oh,
Bless you.
thanks. Quiet. There he goes. He's calling Gladys.
Hello, Gladys. This is Cuddles.
I may be sick.
I'm sorry to bother you at home, Gladys, but I can't go on like this.
The beast.
Shh.
I've decided to do something about it, Gladys. That's exactly what I've decided.
Here it comes.
Well, in a way, I'd be sorry to lose you.
Huh? She didn't last as long as I did.
Well, I'll admit you did have the makings of a good secretary, but you don't seem to realize that I'm very much in love with my wife.
He admits it. He admits he's in love with his wife. Hey, that's me.
I don't care what they told you in business school. I love my wife. We're completely devoted and trust each other implicitly.
Oh.
She's charming and beautiful, and I'd be crazy to even look at another woman.
Oh. Gee, did you hear that, Katy? He says...
Oh, bless you, Gladys. Oh, because you sneezed. Oh? Oh, well, the operator must be listening in. Well, I think if you really understand the situation, I could give you another chance. Are you sure you do?
Gee, said I was charming and beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, Katy, I was so wrong about everything. He mustn't ever find out I've been spying and suspicious. You promise?
Can I have Sunday off?
Yes, yes.
How about that raise?
Oh, you blackmailer. Where's your sporting blood?
I promise. My lips are sealed.
Well, that's a much better, healthier attitude. As a matter of fact, Gladys, I think it would be help if you had a talk with Liz.
Oh, no, oh, no.
Well, I'd like her to meet you, too, if you're going to be my secretary.
Oh, some other time, some other time.
Now, wait, I'll call her to the phone.
Oh, I'm dead.
Liz? Hey, Liz, where are you?
Don't even breathe, Katy.
Liz!
I'm going to try something. Did you call me, George?
Yes? Where are you?
I'm up in the attic.
Well, you don't sound like you're up there.
Well, go up. Come up and see.
Well, come down. I want you to... All right, I'll come up.
Oh, for a minute, I thought I was...
Liz? Katy? That sneeze came from the closet.
Oh, quick. Katy, plug in the vacuum cleaner's light switch.
What for?
Don't ask questions. Go ahead.
Liz, what are you and Katy doing in the closet?
Now, that's it, Katy. Get into every corner. We don't want any dirt in this house.
Liz, will you please explain?
Spring cleaning, George. Can't have dirty closets, you know. Don't forget the shelf, Katy. I'll get the floor. We'll mop up the sides, and then we'll sweep, and then we'll do all kinds of stuff.
You have been listening to My Favorite Husband, presented in Charlotte by Theater Charlotte, starring Chase Law with Johnny Hohenstein, and based on characters created by Isabel Scott Rorick. Tonight's transcribed program was produced by Julius Arthur Leonard and written by Jess Oppenheimer, Madeline Pugh, and Bob Carroll Jr. Thank you to Jill Blady, who played Katy, and Zachary Tarlton as Atterbury.
Get out of here, Geof. And now we'd like to take this opportunity to announce the winner and runner-up of our Quarantine the Musical audition contest. It was a tough decision to narrow down the field with so many great audition videos. Although we will be announcing the entire cast after this broadcast this evening on Facebook, don't let that stop you from sending in more audition videos. We've loved seeing them. We will be selecting some of our favorites throughout the coming weeks to win some really great prizes courtesy of Theater Charlotte. Based on your final notes, let's bring in the winner of Theater Charlotte's Quarantine the Musical. In the role of Cora Lockton, Miss Kate McCracken. Hello.
Hello. Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm better now that we can be live on radio, aka everyone's phone.
Fantastic, of course.
Great. So, Kate, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Kate McCracken. I just turned 16, and I'm a sophomore at Charlotte Latin School. I've been doing theater for pretty much my whole life. I also play guitar. Oh, they're over there. But I play guitar, so I've always kind of been on stage. And I hope to pursue musical theater as a career if, it all goes to plan.
All right, awesome. Well, I heard you just recently turned 16, so happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Congratulations on winning. So what made you decide to audition? Like, how did you find out about this?
Yes. So I get the Theater Charlotte newsletters, of course, because why wouldn't you? And I saw the advertisement in there, and I had a friend that did it earlier in the week. So I was just like, might as well. I mean, there's not a ton going on around here. So might as well, take advantage of the creative opportunities.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. You've definitely kept us entertained. We hope that we've provided you with a nice creative outlet. Clearly, it has paid off. So I know that to remind everyone what Kate has won, she won a walk-on role in Legally Blonde the Musical, which will be happening this summer. All things going to plan. So we're really looking forward to working with you.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, right? I can't do Legally Blonde by myself in my dining room, so that'll be
right. Yeah.
Yeah, we also have a runner-up who's going to be joining us here as well in the role of Omar at home, Mr. Noah Wardy.
Hi.
Noah, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you again. No, I know that you were just in Oliver back in the fall with me, and I got to scream at you a lot, which was really fun. Not screaming at you, but being in a show with you. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Noah. I am 13. I'm online schooled, so this whole thing isn't much of a change. I was in, like you said, I was in Oliver as Nipper, one of the poor kids, and
in Fagan's gang,
yeah. I think that's all that's interesting about me.
Oh, I'm sure that's not true. Tell us about your what kind of shows have you seen at Theater Charlotte?
I think I only saw Christmas Carol, actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and it was good.
Well, we are super excited to work with you moving forward. We're going to have some great prizes for you and some of the other contestants as well. For more from Kate and Noah, be sure that you tune in. These are for you people at home that are watching on your phones, laying in your burrito blankets. Be sure you tune in on Sunday at 7 o'clock for all of our new virtual broadcasts, TC at Home, that's presented here by Theater Charlotte, for in-depth interviews, performances, some behind-the-scenes looks at what we're doing with Quarantine the Musical. Unfortunately, all of our first rehearsals have been delayed. Follow us on social media and be sure you're checking out the entire cast list that'll be posted at 8:30 right after tonight's broadcast. So thank you, Kate and Noah, for being here. Do you want to wave to all of your adoring fans?
Thank you.
You have a good pageant waves there. It's very nice.
Yeah, I've been working on it.
Well, Legally Blonde, you're going to have to get it down right. So,
of course.
Well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Don't forget, if you're enjoying these programs, please consider making a donation to Theater Charlotte. You can donate online at theatercharlotte.org or by texting TC at Home, that's all one word, to 41411. Now, stay tuned for an episode of Inner Sanctum Mysteries. This episode is titled The Dead Laugh.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host to welcome you through the squeaking door. Well, been shopping around for a nice case of murder? Of course you have. And you've come to the right place, because the characters on this program simply kill themselves to keep you amused. Why, only the other day we were accused of making murder our business. But we wouldn't do that, friends. Oh no. Because that would be mixing business with pleasure. And we consider it a pleasure to give some stiff the business. And now, friends, tonight's story is a triangle tale concerning a man, a woman, and a murderer. You've heard it said that those who laugh last laugh best. But we're going to prove that it never pays to get into a laughing contest with a ghost, because ghosts always get the last laugh.
I know he's dead. His body's been in the grave for weeks, and yet, although I tell myself it's impossible, I can hear him laugh. That raucous, mocking sound haunts me. Same laugh that I heard for the first time in the courtroom. He'd never laughed during all the weeks of the trial, never even smiled. But this day, when he came before me for sentencing, John Spenser, you have been found guilty of murder in the first degree. Do you wish to make a statement before sentence is imposed?
I killed Hicks. I'm willing to admit it now, but he was no good. He got just what he deserved, and everybody knows it. I'm not a killer. I never committed a crime before, and all I ask now is a chance.
John Spenser, the jury took all that into consideration when it recommended life imprisonment. However, I have the power to ignore that recommendation. It is my firm conviction that to allow one man to take the law into his own hands is to encourage others to do likewise. I therefore override the recommendation of the jury and sentence you to be hung by the neck until dead.
No, Judge, please. I got a girl. We're going to be married. All I ask is to live so I can see her once in a while.
You should have thought of that before you committed murder.
It's easy for you to tell me what I should have done, but you won't always be on top, see? Maybe someday you'll be down here where I am. When that happens, I hope they throw the book at you just like you're doing it, me.
Bailiff, remove the prisoner.
Won't I be laughing when that happens? Wherever I am, I'll be laughing fit to bust!
Same old story. Prisoner pleads innocence or guilty with good cause. Ask mercy. When clemency is refused, condemned man curses judge and hopes the judge will someday find himself in a similar plight. Spenser's outburst failed to move me in the slightest. I'd heard it many times before. I went home to forget about the Spenser case.
Richard! Is that you, Richard?
Yes, dear. I'll come in as soon as I freshened up.
Come right now. I've been waiting here all day. Surely it's not too much to ask.
All right, Laura, I'm coming.
Richard, I want you to meet my new nurse, Margaret Cummings. This is George Thornton, Miss Cummings.
How do you do?
Miss Cummings, haven't we met before?
That's hardly likely. It's probably my face. It's so ordinary.
On the contrary, Miss Cummings, your face is rather unusual.
Richard, suppose you stop that silly chatter about faces and talk to Miss Cummings about her duties.
Very well. Come into my study, Miss Cummings. We can talk better there. Sit down, please. There's not much to say, really. In the first place, my wife's heart condition isn't really dangerous.
Yes, I gathered that from Dr. Fletcher.
Oh, he told you about my wife, eh?
Oh, yes.
You're a professional person, nurse, and I believe in frankness. It makes things easier. My wife is 11 years my senior, getting on past middle age. She is a bit worried. Not that I give her any reason for it, just jealous. You understand?
Perfectly.
She's not an easy person to get along with. You'll have to humor her.
I'll do my best.
Miss Cummings?
Yes?
I was just wondering where it was that I saw you before. It escapes me. You know, Miss Cummings, your face is rather haunting. That was how it began. We played a game during those first few weeks. I would ask, "Oh, Miss Cummings, where was it that I first saw you?"
Oh, don't you remember yet?
No, I don't.
Well, I do. And someday, if you're nice, I'll tell you.
Oh, we would laugh together. Having the girl in the house made me feel young again. It didn't last. It ended one evening in Laura's room.
Richard,
Yes, dear.
put down that newspaper. I want to talk to you.
I'm listening.
Don't you think you're going a bit too far, Richard?
Too far? What do you mean?
I mean Miss Cummings.
Oh,
I won't stand for it. I won't allow you to disgrace me in my own home with a woman who's little more than a servant.
oh, Laura, for heaven's sakes.
I may be a bedridden invalid, but there is a limit.
You're jumping to ridiculous conclusions, Laura.
Ridiculous, am I? I suppose you'll deny you're in love with Miss Cummings, that you've been carrying on with her right under my nose.
Certainly I'll deny it.
I've got eyes, Richard. I've seen you two whispering together. I've watched how you look at her.
Oh, you are talking utter nonsense. There's nothing between me and Mrs. Cummings.
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well then, I'll give you a chance to prove what you say. I don't want Miss Cummings here. Dismiss her.
You want me to dismiss her?
Yes, Richard, I do.
Miss Cummings, well, this is going to be rather unpleasant. You see, my wife has...
Yes, I know. She wants me to leave.
Yes. How did you know?
I couldn't help overhearing the conversation.
Well, then you also know why she wants you to leave?
Yes. But you warned me when I first came here that she was jealous.
It's been pleasant, very pleasant, having you here.
Thank you.
I'm going to miss you. Miss Cummings, could I have your home address?
Of course. Why do you want it?
I hope you don't think me presumptuous, but, well, perhaps we might be able to see each other.
Would that be wise?
No, it wouldn't be wise. But I might as well face it. I couldn't hide it from Laura, and I can't hide it from myself. I love you, Miss Cummings. That night, I heard Spenser's laugh for the first time since that day in the courtroom. I set it down as a figment of my imagination, born out of a feeling of guilt due to my disloyalty to Laura. I put it out of my mind. I had other things to think about. The slip of paper that with Margaret Cummings' address on it was in my pocket. A dozen times during the next week, I picked up the telephone to call her, but something held me back. It was fear, I guess. Fear that if I saw her again, I would be taking a final irrevocable step. But I couldn't stand it any longer without seeing her. I dialed her number.
Hello?
Is that you, Margaret?
Yes, who is this?
Richard. This is Richard.
Richard?
Judge Thornton.
Oh, hello. How are you? It's been so long, I thought you'd forgotten me.
There's little chance of that. Could I see you tonight, Margaret?
Why, yes, of course. Come over as soon as you like.
I dressed carefully. Examining myself in the mirror, I saw a tall man, still on the right side of 50, still trim in figure and distinguished in appearance. But when I got to Margaret's apartment, my heart was beating fast, like a boy on a first date. Somehow, I don't quite know how it happened. She was in my arms. I was kissing her.
Oh, Richard.
My darling.
Oh, no. We're being foolish.
Sit down, darling, here beside me.
Like this?
That's perfect. Margaret, would you marry me?
Mary, you can't be serious.
I was never more earnest in my life.
Aren't you forgetting a little detail?
No, I'm not forgetting about Laura. She has a weak heart. She may die, and if she dies...
I wouldn't count on it. Your wife takes very good care of herself. She may live to be 100.
But if she should die, would you marry me?
I don't know. It's not fair to ask me now. Not while your wife is still alive. Ask me later.
Oh, Richard, did you have a pleasant evening at the club?
I didn't go to the club, Laura.
No?
No, I lied to you. I spent the evening with Margaret Cummings.
Richard!
You were right. I'm in love with her. I never knew what love meant before. I can't live without her.
Oh, you're mad. You don't know what you're saying.
I want a divorce, Laura.
Divorce? No.
I want it immediately.
Oh, you can't do this to me. Oh, my heart.
What?
Now you see what you've done?
Laura.
Oh, the shock. My pills, Richard. Give them to me. Hurry. Hurry, Richard. Oh. Oh.
I knew she was pretending the heart attack, hoping to play on my sympathy. That was Laura's favorite trick. It always worked before, but not this time. This time I would pretend until I was ready to act. I gave her the pills, watched her take them and sink back into the pillow.
Oh, thank you, Richard.
Feel better now?
Yes, dear, much better. I don't know what I would have done without you here. I would have died. Oh, Richard, say you didn't mean what you said before. Don't you see I couldn't go on living without you?
You won't have to, Laura.
Then you won't leave me for that girl?
I'll take care of you. Here, let me make you comfortable. Your pillow needs arranging.
Yes, it does. Richard, what are you doing?
I'm going to fix the pillow. Lie still. Stop twisting around. This isn't much different from a heart attack. Laura? She's dead.
Hello?
Dr. Fletcher.
Yes.
This is Judge Thornton. Please come quickly, doctor. My wife has had a heart attack.
It happened during an argument.
It was nothing important, doctor. Just a domestic quarrel. And suddenly she had the attack. I gave her her pills, but by that time it was too late.
That's too bad.
If I'd only known that her condition had become so dangerous.
Oh, Judge, you've nothing to reproach yourself for. These things happen.
Will you take care of the formalities, doctor?
Oh, yes, of course.
The death certificate?
I'll list the cause as failure of the heart.
There was no need to act the part of the stricken husband after Dr. Fletcher left. I stood looking down at Laura's body. She was dead. and Dr. Fletcher's certificate would clear me of any suspicion of murder. I was free. Free to marry Margaret. I walked to Margaret's apartment that night. The street was dark, empty. I had the uncomfortable feeling that I was being watched, followed. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I hurried my pace. The man behind me did likewise. Frightened as I was, I decided to stop and confront the follower. He came towards me, his face and figure shadowy in the dark. What do you want? Why are you following me?
You ought to know, Judge Thornton.
Who are you? Come closer so I can see. Spenser. John Spenser. It can't be. You're dead.
Dead, am I? Well, you ought to know, Judge.
Now, take it easy, mister. Take it easy. Just tell me what happened.
I was being followed, officer. So I turned around to see who it was.
Did you see who it was?
And that's why I fainted. The man following me was a dead man.
He was a... What's that?
The man following me is dead. I know he's dead, officer.
Oh, I ought to run you in, Buster. You're crazy.
I had intended to tell Margaret that Laura was dead. I meant to ask her to marry me, but the encounter on the street drove those thoughts right out of my head. Arriving in her apartment, I went directly to the window and looked out. And there, across the street, leaning against the wall, I saw John Spenser.
Richard, I'm insulted.
What?
You didn't kiss me. You haven't even said hello.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear, but that man across the street, he can't be real. And yet, if he isn't...
What man, Richard?
Don't you see him?
No, there's no one across the street.
He was there a moment ago. I turned my head to talk to you, and now he's gone.
Darling, you're trembling. You must be sick.
Don't look at me like that.
Richard, what's the matter?
I guess I am sick. I'd better go and have a talk with Dr. Fletcher.
Yes, I remember the Spenser case very well, Judge Thornton. You could have spared Spenser's life, but you didn't. And now you imagine that he follows you.
Yes.
But the man is dead.
Then it was his ghost that followed me. His ghost I spoke to. His ghost that laughs.
There are no ghosts, Judge Thornton, with one exception. The ghost we carry about inside us.
What do you mean?
Well, these things that you hear and see, these are hallucinations brought on by feelings of guilt. Now, Spenser's been dead for weeks, so the question is, why should you experience guilt feelings at this late date?
I don't know.
Well, psychiatry has an explanation. Quite often in such cases, one refuses to face the guilt object and transfers his guilt feelings to some other person.
What are you driving at?
Well, I'm simply suggesting that your guilt feelings are not caused by the Spenser incident. And I'm going to ask you a blunt question. Did you murder your wife?
Why? Of all the idiotic...
Just a moment, Judge, just a moment. I've been rather uneasy about the circumstances of Mrs. Thornton's death.
But you diagnosed it as a heart attack.
I accepted what you told me that night. A superficial examination of the body did indicate such a conclusion, yes, but your wife's cardiac condition was mild. Now, your guilt feelings lead me to suspect.
This murder talk is ridiculous. Were there any signs of a struggle? Any marks of violence? Of course not.
Mrs. Thornton might have been suffocated.
Oh, nonsense.
Perhaps. At any rate, I intend to recommend to the coroner that an autopsy be performed.
An autopsy?
Yes, it would determine whether or not death was due to suffocation. You should have no objection if I am mistaken.
Ah, you meddling fool!
No, Judge Thornton, put down that paperweight.
You're so clever.
Stay away from me. Oh! Oh!
I've gone too far now to stop at another murder.
Oh!
I'd lost my head. I should have agreed to an autopsy. That would have given me a day or two to plan my escape. But now, as things were, it would only be a matter of hours before Fletcher's body was discovered. My thoughts twisted and turned in panic.
Maybe someday you'll be down here where I am. Won't I be laughing when that happens? Wherever I am, I'll be laughing fit to bust!
I ran like a frightened child. I needed help, and there was no one to turn to. Margaret, she loved me. She'd help me. I went to Margaret and told her what happened.
You killed your wife!
For you, so that we could be married.
And then Dr. Fletcher!
I had to kill him, Margaret. He was going to recommend an autopsy.
Why did you come here?
We've got to run away. We still have an hour or two. We could charter a plane to Canada or Mexico.
What makes you think I'd run away with you?
I thought you loved me.
Don't be stupid. I'm going to turn you over to the police.
Margaret, you can't mean that.
Can't I? Just watch me.
Margaret, listen. Before you pick up that phone, even if you don't love me, even if you won't go away with me, give me a chance. Have mercy.
You make me laugh. Judge Thornton, who never gave anybody else a break, pleading for mercy, will turn around and ask the man behind you for mercy.
Behind me?
That's right.
Spenser. John Spenser!
Take another look, Judge.
No. You're not John Spenser. There's a resemblance, but you're not John Spenser.
I'm his brother.
You're the man that was following me.
That's right.
I was tricked. Led on by Margaret to kill my wife, and forced by you to betray myself to Dr. Fletcher. But why? Why, Margaret? Why did you do this?
For revenge.
Revenge?
Yes. The first day I came to your house, you thought my face was familiar. Well, now I'll tell you where it was that you first saw me. It was in the courtroom at John Spenser's trial.
Courtroom? Yes.
Yes. Remember how he begged for mercy? He told you he had a girl, that he was engaged to be married, and you could have given his life. But you sentenced him to his death.
Were you the girl?
Yes.
Spenser, did he know about this?
All this was his plan, his revenge. Hello, operator? Give me police headquarters. I want to report a murderer. Yes, that's right, a murder. Tell them it's very important to get here as soon as they can.
I'm waiting now for the police to come, for the trial, for the sentence which I know will be death. As I wait, my thoughts go back to the courtroom.
You won't always be on top, see? Maybe someday you'll be down here where I am. And when that happens, I'll be laughing.
Well, Judge Thornton certainly misjudged Margaret Cummings, which was a grave mistake. Why, he didn't have the ghost of a chance with her. She double-crossed him right into the graveyard. Oh, a word of caution. If you must commit a murder, be sure to select the proper weapon. I suggest a sharp-edged axe because it provides you with a handy alibi. When the police want to know why you did it, you can claim the killing was accidental. Hmm?
Cue music. Theater Charlotte's Isolation Radio Hour is brought to you live each Wednesday on the same virtual broadcast platforms. Thank you to tonight's cast and crew: Chase Law, Jill Blady, Zachary Tarlton, Geof Knight, Stuart Spenser, Morgan Wakefield, and me, Johnny Hohenstein, as your host. Special thanks to screen director Jackie Timmons, sound design by Chris Timmons, and casting by Ron Law. Theater Charlotte is a nonprofit organization, and we depend greatly on ticket sales and contributions from our individual supporters. Never have these contributions been more valuable or important than during these difficult times. Please consider making a donation to Theater Charlotte. You can donate online at theatercharlotte.org or by texting TC at home, that's all one word, to 41411. I'm not sure if that's scrolling. Oh, it's scrolling right down here. So make sure you text. Yeah, right there, like you're voting for American Idol. TC at home, all one word, 41411. Join us next week for an episode of Life of Riley titled Mother-in-Law and Adventures of the I almost said Tin Man. It's the Thin Man, not the Tin Man. The Case of the American Menace. Good night.